Today on This Old House, for a modern look, we install doors and windows with no trim.
We're installing modern cabinets the old-fashioned way.
And today we're going to lay some tile, but it's not going to look like this. It's going to look like this. What happened to all this plumbing here?
I've never seen anything like this before. There's already rot going on in that trunk.
So what have you found up here?
Well, a bit of a surprise. It's really the classic plumber's lament.
Nice.
See this main roof form? We're just going to pull that forward so it's even where this existing deck is.
Definitely says mid-century modern.
Money's in the detail.
That is beautiful. Hey there, I'm Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to This Old House, where we are restoring and expanding this mid-century modern home. And a lot of progress has been made in the last few weeks. Exterior windows and doors have gone in, including 13 feet of glass behind me. The board is going up on the walls, and the floors have all been prepped for tile, which means radiant heat underneath and cement board on top of that. And check this out. We can actually prove that the radiant heat is working. You can see all the PEX tubing underneath right there. That is pretty cool. So we're going to have tile on the main floors and up here as well, some tile downstairs on the lower level as well, where Mrs. Silva is working. Tommy, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing all right. So we're hanging doors today?
We're hanging doors today.
And this is one of them, sort of a flat slab. Never seen this detail before. 2 metal strips?
Yeah, 2 on each side of the door, and not all the doors have that, so it's some kind of a design detail that's above my grade.
Modern look, Tommy.
Yeah.
It's mid-century modern, pal.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's the process for this?
Well, the process is we're actually hanging the doors before the plaster goes in.
Yeah.
Or because it's a mid-century modern and there's actually no casing around the door. So it all starts with me checking this wall to see if it's plumb and straight. And I like to do that with a plumb bob.
Instead of with a level, which is what most guys would be pulling out for right now.
Well, I mean, over the years I've dropped levels, and if it's off just an 1/8 or a 1/16 of an inch, that shows in the door.
You've been off level for many years.
Yeah. So this wall is a 1/16 of an inch out of plumb, and that's acceptable.
Yeah.
All right, so the next thing is we have solid jambs going around that's going to hang these doors. And the first thing I want to do is I want to remove these stops right here. These are what they call applied stops, because I'm going to fasten the jamb behind the stops. All right, now what I want to do now is I want to put a couple of reference lines on the face edge of this casing right here. And I'm just going to choose 60 inches.
Okay.
All right, now I'm going to measure down from the top over here and come down 22 and a 16. All right, so those are my reference lines that I'm going to use to make the header level. The next thing I have to do is I have to think about what the finished floor is and the thickness of the finished floor.
So down here we've got, what, tile going over radiant?
We got tile that's about just a hair under a 1/2 inch, plus the thin set that's going to stick on it. So I'm going to allow 5/8 of an inch. I'm just going to take a couple of shingles. I'm going to slide them until I get 5/8 of an inch right there.
Yeah.
Take the shingles and I'm going to lay them right here on the floor. All right, now that allows for the tile thickness.
Okay.
I'm going to take my 60-inch measurement right here and I'm going to bring it up. And I'm going to mark right here 60 inches.
Got it.
Now, I want that header to be level, so I'm going to take a level and I'm going to run it from this side of the door. Hold the level, make it level. And put a mark there and here. Okay, so now, when I take the door jamb and I place it in the opening, I put this on top of the shingles, and then I line up these 2 marks right here. That reference line lines up with this reference line.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that side right now, but I do have to worry about the wall thickness on each side, so this is centered in the opening, so I need a couple of pieces of wallboard. All right, we'll take one right here, and I'm going to tack it on this side.
So this is going to let you center it right there?
Right, I want to put it up high because I'm going to start installing the jamb from the top down.
You allowed to nail screws?
Oh, sure. Okay, Okay, now with those two pieces temporarily tacked on the wall, we have just centered the jamb in the opening.
Okay.
Next thing we want to do is we want to start hanging this in the opening. We want to start from the top. So we want to eyeball it roughly right there. Okay. So I know that I'm going to shim on this side. We'll take two shingles and we're going to slide them in this way. That way we'll have a parallel shim that runs across the opening. So I'm going to go just above the hinge. I'm going to slide it in. First thing I want to do is I want to drill a hole. And I want to have you put a screw in.
You got the jam?
Yep.
And screw coming in.
Bring it in nice and snug, but don't over tighten it. Good. Okay. Go with the wall. Take the plumb bob off here. Transfer it to here.
You like your plumb bob, don't you?
I do like it. When I measure up the top here, I have 2 inches to the string. So now if I measure down at the bottom, close to the plumb bob here, I've got 2 1/4. So that tells me that this jam has to come out 1/4 inch for it to be plumb. And we'll just use a couple of shims. Take that one from that side. This one will go right on top of one another.
You want to go right over the hinge area? Or?
Right above the hinge because the screw is behind there. We can't slide it with it. Right now, we'll slide them in slow and I'll watch the string line at the same time. You can see the jam coming out. When we get to 2 inches, we're going to stop. Whoop. Right there. Now I'm going to drill a hole, put in another screw. All right, that's good. Now we're going to put a couple more shims in here to make sure that it's not only plumb, but it has to be straight. All right, now I want to take 2 shims and put them underneath the jam, and you're going to push them together, and I'm going to watch these 2 lines on this side of the jam opening and line them up. So push it in there. Okay, that's good. So now our header is level and we can plumb this side.
Now, normally you would have been putting these jams in after the board was up, but not in this case.
Exactly. This is a mid-century modern house, and you're right. The plasterboard would go up, they'd cover the board off, and then they'd plaster the walls, and then would hang the jams.
Right.
But in this case, because the mid-century modern trim is so small, we're actually using the jams as the trim.
Right, that's basically going to be the finished look right there.
Right. So now the plaster has a little more work that he would normally have to do. He has to cut the board and cut it around the jam, and he wants to put it on there like that, but he may even create a little gap like that.
Yeah.
Now when he skim coats the wall, this gap or this space, whether it's tight or loose, can eventually crack and fall out because of the expansion and contraction of the wood jam.
Gotcha.
To solve that problem, we use this little channel right here. This is an L bead, all right? So the board's held back a little bit. The L bead would slip into that crack. It gets held tight to the wood, and then they would skim coat everything covering this bead.
So we get a nice clean look, and it's going to stay clean because that'll never crack.
Right, and this solves the expansion and contraction problem.
Our homeowners wanted concrete for the floors down here in the kitchen as well as over in the living room. But that would have meant reinforcing the floors underneath, which would have been too expensive. So they instead set on a big tile. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Kevin.
And when I say big, I mean big. That is the biggest tile I have ever seen.
4x4.
Wow, that is unbelievable. What's the material?
It's a porcelain.
Okay. And the weight on these things?
About 85 pounds a piece.
Wow, that is remarkable. So, I mean, I do have to say they nailed the concrete look.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, that really does
Exactly
look like
it.
All right. I'm noticing these things, the glass installers use these. Is this how
Right.
you move
Well,
it
this is the only way we can handle them because we're going to get our fingers stuck underneath them.
Okay. So I see you have your son Eric here, and some of them are already down. Let's talk about the process of getting these things down. Any different application for them because they're so big and so heavy, Eric?
Yeah, basically what we have to do is when we notch the floor, we spread the thin set on the floor.
Yep.
We have to apply that same way on the tile because it's so heavy. So we skim the tile and then we notch it.
And what does the notching do for you? Is that
It
actually
gives us a little bit more up so that when we set them, and they're so heavy that they won't sink on us.
Gotcha. So you got a straight edge on this side to keep you honest.
Yeah.
And you got some clips that are they setting the thickness of your grout line?
Actually, these minimize lippage.
Oh yeah, look at that. So pulling and pushing the two adjacent tiles so that they're exactly the same height.
Exactly.
Those stay in for the entire time while it sets up?
Yep. Let it dry, and then you just use a rubber mallet and hit the edge of it, and they snap off.
All right, so on to the next one.
On to the next one.
The Brookline project represents our 40th season on this old house. To celebrate our 20th season, we came 1,600 miles south to the southernmost city in the contiguous USA, Key West, Florida. We were all a bit lighter, our hair was a lot darker, and we had a different host back then.
A different host? I
You
wasn't
scared me.
your first.
You weren't, but this is exactly how I met Steve Thomas, the previous host, in a Hawaiian shirt and a bike like this.
I remember it very well. Back then, I was watching every episode as a fan.
Great. Well, behind this mass of vegetation that's grown in the 20 years is a beautiful conch captain's house. Our original owner sold after about 3 years, and the new owners have been here ever since, and they've made their share of changes. Hello,
Hey.
Rob. How are you?
How are you?
Nice to see you. Say
Great to
hello
see you.
Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Thank you for the invite back.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
Remember this tile, the black and white? We did it 20 years ago, but it looks like it's been there 100.
Well, I remember when I was watching the show, Tommy and Norm loving the walls, right? So original pine boards, I think?
Yeah.
All Dade County pine, tough as nails.
Norm loved this, too, that you kept this post because the termites had lunch here, but we still
Many
celebrated.
years ago they did. It's a great old piece.
So what's your favorite room?
There's no question it's the library. This is a wonderful room.
Now, this was a room that we actually didn't get finished before we were done shooting here, right?
I don't
I think
we
that's
did.
right.
Yeah, the last thing I remember Norm looking at were, I think the doors were here, but they weren't hung yet,
That's right.
and the cabinets were not finished either.
Well, they got finished.
They did a beautiful job finishing them. And there's something special about the cherry next to the old hard pine that just gives a warmth to the room that you can't replicate.
So have you changed anything on this project from what we did originally?
Big changes in the kitchen. Let me show you.
All right.
So one of the things we wanted to do is brighten up the kitchen, but importantly for us, this used to be a door here.
That's right. Door to one side right there, so that's all gone.
And so we were able to move the oven over here, and that freed up some space for us here because the oven used to be sitting here. And now I got a whole stack of drawers that I can just load up with pots and pans and cooking stuff.
Didn't it have some wok thing, too?
Yeah, it was interesting. There was a 25,000 BTU wok burner,
Yeah.
and we found that we just didn't use it.
That's right. Right. And this is not the original sink either.
No, this was 2 single sinks with 2 different faucets, and we wanted a farm sink, and so we dropped that in. And we, replaced the floor, built higher cabinets, but overall, just gave us a lot more space and brighter.
It feels more spacious.
There's no question you remember this room.
I do. This is where the most dramatic changes were. I remember there was a bad kitchen that was all right here, gonzo. A bathroom here, and then there were porches outside of it.
That's
we opened
right.
it all up.
And low ceilings, right? Which
Yeah.
we changed, made a big vaulted ceiling, a cupola in the center to let in some natural light, and the artificial light around the cove to sort of accent everything.
So not many changes here.
No changes other than paint. It's a great room, and so why mess with it?
Now, there's one thing on the second floor I wanted to check that was pretty peculiar, as I remember.
Oh, tell me.
Now, up on the top floor, there was 2 dormers on the front, 2 dormers on the back. And I remember when Norm got here, he saw a swinging saloon door right here and was amazed what he found behind it. I guess it was the saloon door that got Norm's attention. With a proper door, what's not to love about this spot? Got a full height for the toilet, a lavatory right here, and behind that shed dormer is a full-size shower. Not bad.
And this is where I spend most of my time.
I
I'm
don't
sure you
blame you.
remember it.
Now, we built this structure, and it's just spectacular. I would never leave here.
Boy, I tell you, I wish I was here with you 20 years ago.
But you were in middle school.
That. But it is good to be back here.
I like it.
Thanks for letting us take the visit.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Be well, you guys.
Hey, wait, didn't Steve go for a swim?
Yeah, go. No, don't do it.
The modern features in our Brookline house are all throughout, right down to the fireplace that we are installing, or actually, Chris, you and your team are going to install for us. Well, That is just, to me, that is the iconic look of a modern fireplace, right?
Absolutely. There's a great French designer, Dominique Imberg, who decided in the 60s that he needed a classic look with a modern suspended design. So it's a very cutting-edge fireplace.
So you say suspended. I mean, it literally will hang from its stovepipe or maybe off the wall, but it's going to be up off the ground.
That's right.
That beautiful shape right there.
Absolutely. So it comes off the ground roughly about 20 inches to here.
Okay.
Okay, and then the pipe suspends up to the top. The cover disc up top.
Yeah.
Okay, and the pipe just has a clean finish up to the top and exhausts right out the top.
And the material that what you guys are hanging for us, what is this?
This is a high-grade steel, handcrafted in France for each job.
That is beautiful. And again, that shape is just, it's unmistakable. So in order to get this in, you guys gave us a very specific protocol for how we needed to build the wall behind it. Walk us through that.
Absolutely. So the important thing about a fireplace is it gets hot, and in order to prevent any kind of hazards, what we do is we require a metal stud installation down here on the bottom. The next thing is a fire-rated insulation.
This is mineral wool in this case.
That's right. Then you have your commercial grade cement board that's put in, and then the wall is plastered from there. Okay, at that point, we take our wall bracket for the fireplace, attached to the studs, and it's designed and engineered to support the weight of the fireplace.
There is a gas line that has been run by our plumber. The nipple is right there.
That's right.
We've chosen for gas. It could burn wood.
Absolutely it can. This is both a wood-burning fireplace and a gas fireplace too, so it's a great option for homeowners.
Okay. What does the firebox part weigh?
This firebox weighs about 200 pounds. Hey Kevin, so we have our flute pipe here, and as you can see, it's manufactured from the same high-grade steel as the fireplace itself. Inside we have the welded bracket here with the set screw, and what that does is it fastens it to the top of the fireplace.
Gotcha.
A little further down here we have an operable damper, so for wood-burning fireplaces you can open and close it, but in our case we'll be doing gas, so we will fasten this open. Got it. Now let's turn that damper. Great. Excellent. So what's going to happen is, as you see that's coming through there, that's called a collar.
Yep.
And that's going to fit inside of that, which you'll see here shortly. And then you're going to see screws. Those holes there are for screws to fasten it together to ensure that you get a nice tight seal. And what you're looking at here is a 24-volt 38 burner and set it into place. And then as you get inside there, you'll see that there's a gas hookup that goes to it.
Right. That's a lot of BTU, so this is not just for ambiance. It's going to throw some heat.
Absolutely. So when you're drafting a fireplace, some of your heat does escape up through your exhaust, and a lot of your heat does come out into the room as well, so it's a great secondary source for heat in a home.
And you are making a statement in our house. This thing is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thanks to you and your team.
Absolute pleasure, Kevin. Thank you. Love it. Look at that, huh? Absolutely.
Our kitchen cabinets have arrived on site, and today we're going to start installing them. We're working with two of our apprentices, Nathan, who was with us a couple of years ago, and Carly, our newest. And Nathan, you're working with your dad today. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
And you're going to take the lead on this to get these cabinets in.
I'm going to take the lead. He's taught me everything I need to know about installing kitchen cabinets like this, so let's get right into the layout.
Okay, where do you want to go?
Let's start on the end here. We have a small bank of cabinets, kind of our partition from the rooms. We switch around. We have a small unit here, just storage.
Yeah.
Then we have a dishwasher.
Okay.
And then we're going to put in our sink base.
Yeah, right in front of the window. It's a whole bank of windows, but that'd be great.
It's going to be really nice. Then we have a trash compactor over here.
Yep.
And then we get into our cooktop base.
Yeah, there's a gas pipe coming out of the wall. What's the shelf for here?
This shelf is because all the cabinets are a different width, European style.
Oh, European cabinets. They're not as deep as the American cabinets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
These are pretty nice cabinets.
They're very nice, very nice. Soft close slides, full extension.
Yeah. Metal drawers.
Metal drawers, yeah, you don't see that very often. The
Right.
bottom one actually has some glass in it. You'll have knobs for your cooktop, but there'll be no pulls on the drawers.
Oh, so you'll be able to control them right through here. Nice look.
You actually slide your hand in when you want to pull any of the other drawers out.
Yeah. Nice.
Over here, Carly's putting on the legs. Those are really easy to level out, and she's just going to rough out the heights, and then we'll fine-tune them in place.
Perfect. All right, so what's going on that wall right there?
Over here, we have a big bank of cabinets. We have refrigerator, oven, warming drawer. Then we have the freezer on the right, some open shelving on the far right, and then up above, a whole bunch of extra storage.
Up high?
Yeah,
We need a ladder for that.
Yeah, it's up there.
All right, where do you want to get started?
I want to get started on the cooktop base because we got to center it right into that hood.
Yeah, we're not going to move that at all. Ready?
Yep. Feed my wire through.
left to right here, across the back. It's pretty close.
Show the front. Oh, it's definitely out.
Yeah, you gotta bring it
I
up.
have to adjust the legs a little bit.
Just a hair, go ahead, a little more. Ooh, easy though. Oh yeah. All right, you ready to screw it off?
Yep, but first I got to bring the front of the draw out a little bit. I'm looking for a 27 3/4
Okay. To the face frame?
to the face frame.
27 3/4 right there.
All right, got it too.
Okay.
Right, now I'm just going to lock it in through the shims with the cabinet screw.
Okay. Nice. Good. Perfect. Let me get these drawers out of here.
Yeah. Pull it straight up.
Right in the front. Grab the front and pop it up. There you go. Let me take one side. This heavy drawer. All right, I'm good here. You want to screw these two first?
Yeah, let's get them screwed together.
Good. Nice. All right, that's pretty good right there. Now, you and your dad have some work to lay out the rest of these cabinets and get them installed.
I think we have about a week left here.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Well, next week I'm going to be showing Carly how to do some trim work, and Roger's going to be outside finishing up the landscaping. So until then, I'm Tom Silva
I'm Nathan Gilbert.
for This Old House.
Next time on This Old House. You guys did the kitchen cabinets for us, and now bathroom vanity, it looks like?
Yep, bathroom vanity, a high-tech one.
Yeah, it's very high-tech. What's that, all aluminum?
All aluminum, it's a modular unit, so they kind of picked their pieces and they built a great one to put in the master bath.
Mid-century modern means they want a nice, simple, clean line, but that transition has to be good.
And we use magnets to hide a drain in the shower. For more of This Old House, go to pbs.org/thisoldhouse, where you can watch full episodes anytime. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This Old House magazine, the companion to our television series, provides trusted information from our team of experts. You can use your credit card to subscribe for 1 year. That's 6 issues for $10. Just call 1-800-221-5900.